Well-crafted Eden, said Tim Roll Pickering on the 27th of the 11th from the DWRG. The story opens with effective narration from the Keeper as he brings the Doctor and Adric up to speed on events, but this is perhaps forgivable since it means that the story can thus take a more relaxed pace than others and focus on character development rather than explaining the backstory. The Keeper of Traken draws heavily on biblical stories, telling the tale of an Eden that comes under threat from a very deadly serpent in the garden. The plot is simple but exceptionally rewarding for the viewer due to the twists it offers along the way, as well as making the surprise element a bonus to the story rather than the only thing going for it. Drawing also upon medieval influences for the structure of Traken society, the result is a strong debut script from Johnny Byrne. This story sees both the debut of Nyssa and the restoration of the Master as an active and viable foe. The former is ably played by Sarah Sutton, but doesn't immediately stand out as being likely to become a companion, especially since at this stage she is left behind on Traken at the end of the tale. The Master's return adds to this sense of foreclosure as the season comes to a close, and by this time the original viewers would have known that Tom Baker's departure was imminent as well. The Master's presence in the story is well concealed in the first couple of episodes, but by the end of part 3 it becomes clear that Melker is a TARDIS while the Master has now been shown in a shot. For the fans who can remember the Master's appearance in The Deadly Assassin, this is a clear revelation, but it's not until the final part where the dialogue actually confirms this. It makes sense that the Master is finally given a more active form to revitalise the character for future stories. Anthony Ainley gives a good performance as Tremas, making the character extremely likeable and sympathetic after he is brought down by a wife who initially sought only to save him. It is thus a real sad moment when he's absorbed by the Master. The final scene is too brief and so only gives a few hints as to how strong the character will be against the Doctor. The rest of the cast are competent, with the honours going to Margot van der Berg as Cassia. The only weak performances come from Robin Soanes as Luvic. It makes one wonder how the character ever became a consul and just how safe Traken is when Luvic becomes Keeper at the end. Dennis Carey appears as the old Keeper and gives a dignified performance that conveys a true sense of power despite his withered physical form. On the production side, the design work is good, especially since the story is shot completely in the studio. Each set feels natural and the result is a realistic feeling medieval palace environment. John Black's direction is good and there are some nice little touches such as the use of 2 monitor screens of slightly different angle shots inside Melker, which is a detail that many would have overlooked. The result is an enjoyable story that both tells a tale in its own right as well as re-establishing a major character for future stories. This is Tom Baker's penultimate story, but his Doctor doesn't feel like he has quite hit the end of the road yet. All in all, an enjoyable tale in its own right.